Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be solving the leak code question, linked list random node. Alright, so in this question we're going to be given a singly linked list and we want to return a random node's value from the linked list. Each node must have the same probability of being chosen. Alright, so when you first look at this question, it is pretty simple, right? So we're given a linked list, right? And all we want to do is we want to choose a node from that randomly, okay? And it has to be chosen fairly in such a way that the probability of choosing a certain node is same throughout, right? Okay, so the first idea that I kind of had while solving this question is to actually take this linked list. We're going to iterate over everything in our linked list and we're going to add everything into a list, right? So we're going to convert all of the nodes into a normal list data structure in Python, right? And then what we would do in the random function, so as you can see, we have two functions. We have an initialization and we have the random function. So at getRandom, all I would do is I would randomly choose one of the values inside of the list which we define over here. So that's one way to look at it. But one thing that you want to kind of look for over here is the follow-up that they're giving us. So what that says is, what if the linked list is extremely large and its length is unknown to you? Could you solve this efficiently without using extra space? So the key over here is that we do not want to use extra space, and we're just going to assume that our linked list is really, really big, right? And we don't probably have the space required to store that inside of a list. So in that case, how are we randomly going to choose a value? So to do that, over here, there's a concept called reservoir sampling. Okay, so this is a pretty new concept for me. So so I'll leave down below a few links or resources that did help me understand the concept. But now let's just try to understand this concept of reservoir sampling in terms of this question. So let's just see how we can do that real quickly. Okay, so let's just go over here, and as you can see, I have an array. So it has the letters A, B, C, D, and E, and F. So again, let's just go back. So I know we are going to be given a linked list, but just for the sake of this, I'll be using a list because it's kind of easier to work with, okay? So what is the probability for me to pick any of these, right? So in this case, what is the length? So the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the probability for me to do this properly, to get A, should be 1/6. The probability for me to get B should also be 1/6, and so on and so forth. So the probability for me to get one of these letters has to be the same, which in this case, it's 1/6 for everything. But now, so we know this is a small list, right, with 6 elements, but let's just say it is a massive list, right, and it's really big. So how exactly can we do this? So over here, the idea of reservoir sampling comes. So before we actually get into it, let's just go through this kind of step by step. So what we're going to do is, in the beginning, we're going to go to A, okay? So when we go to A, the question that we're going to be asking ourselves is, currently, what are the elements we have? So in the beginning, we're just going to have A, right? So we just go to A, and the question is, what is the probability that we have A currently, okay? So what is a probability that we have A? So in the beginning, there is only one letter. So in this case, the probability of us having A is going to be 1, or in other words, 100%, if that's easier for you to understand, okay? So probability of 1, and I'll be using 0 through 1 to represent the probability. All right, perfect. So that's the probability of getting A. So now we have A, and now let's move on to B. Okay, so we're just iterating over this, nothing too special. So at B, what happens is the question we're asking ourselves again is what is the probability that I have B? So one way to look at this is the probability of not having B is going to be 1/2, right? So the probability of us having A is 1/2 since we have A and B. Hence, the probability of us having B is also going to be 1/2. So I'll just use fractions. Okay, perfect. So now we have C. Again, the question is the same. What is the probability that I am still going to have C? Okay, so now we have 3 options. We can choose between A, B, and C. And what I didn't really explain earlier is you can kind of imagine that each time, so currently, so let's just go back to the beginning. So over here, the current value we had is going to be A, okay, since that's the only option. But now when we go to the second value over here, we have an option between A and B. And for the probability to be equal, we're going to randomly choose between A and B. Okay, so that's kind of what we're doing, right? We're choosing what goes in over here. Okay, but we'll go into that into more detail later on. So now we are at C, and we have three options between A, B, and C. So what is the probability that we end up with C? So let's just look at this the same way we looked at B. So let's think of what is the probability of us getting C. So in this case, the probability of us not getting A is going to be 1 by 3. The probability of us also not getting B is going to be 1 by 3. So in this case, the probability of us getting C is going to be 2 by 3. Okay? So another way to think about this, you could just do 1 minus 1 by 3. So what exactly does this mean over here? So 1 by 3 is the probability of us not getting C, and we're going to do 1 minus that because we want everything else. Okay? So let me just do one more example, and then I'm sure you'll find a pattern. And what we're going to do is each time we're going to be multiplying this, okay? So now we're at D. So same thing. What is the probability of us getting D? So in this case, the probability of us getting D, of us not getting A is going to be 1 by 4. The probability of us not getting B is going to be 1 by 4. Probability of us not getting C is going to be 1 by 4. So we can add them up, and that gives us a value of 3 by 4. Okay, and that is the probability that we could get D, right? So in other words, 1 minus 1 by 4. Okay, now we have E. So in terms of E, it will be 1 minus 1 by 5. So in that case, it will be 4 by 5. For F, it will be 5 by 6. So now let's just try to simplify this, okay? So in this case, the 2's are going to cancel off, 3's cancel off, 4 cancel off, and so is the 5. So what does this over here end us up with? So now this ends up, gives us a probability of us getting 1 by 6, and that is exactly what we are looking for, right? So this is perfect, and hopefully you can kind of understand how we're doing this. So now let's just kind of think about how we can do this in terms of code. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a value, I'll just call it X, and you can kind of think of this as a temporary value, and in the beginning it's going to start off with the value of 1. So what we're going to be doing each time is we're randomly going to be choosing a value between 0 through 1. And we're going to check if it is less than the X value over here. So in the beginning, we're going to choose randomly a value between 0 and 1. And in this case, whatever it is, so in the very beginning, when we're just at A, so in that case, we are going to choose whatever value we're on. So our current value is going to be equal to A. Now what's going to happen is each time, the X value is going to increase. So now we have a value of 2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to B, and we're going to choose a value randomly between 0 through 1. And as we're doing it, we're going to compare this value over here that we get, so the random value, and we're going to compare it with X. So to be more precise, with 1 by X. So in this case, 1 by X is going to be 1 by 2. So what we're going to do is, if this value over here is less than 1 by 2, then we're going to end up choosing B, right? So that way, we end up with the equal probability of choosing each element, right? So as you can see over here, as you do this for everything inside of our list, we end up with a probability of 1 by 6 of choosing each element. So in this case, the question is, do we choose B or not? So let's say somehow we get a value of 0.75 randomly. So in that case, we are going to choose B. So now the same thing happens. The X increases by 1, so now X is 3. And now our random value has to be less than 1 by 3 in order for us to choose the value C, okay? So hopefully, so in this case, let's say we get a value which is less than 1 by 3, then in that case, we are going to make our current value equal to C. But if we do not get a value less than 1 by 3, then our current value is going to stay as B. So hopefully you are understanding kind of how we're going to approach this question. And I think so I did try to explain it more specific to this question, but reservoir sampling could be done to find out any K elements randomly, right? So in this case, the K value is just going to be 1, right? So we just want to find one element randomly, but it can be more generalized. But for the sake of this question, I just made it more specific. So we'll see. Okay, so I will leave down some resources of how we could actually. So I will leave down some resources of which help understanding reservoir sampling. But that being said, now let's look at how we can actually do the code part. So for our initialization, all we're going to do is we're going to be given the head of the list node. So let's just take it. So self.head, and that is going to be equal to our head. Okay, so now we can call this inside of our random function. Okay, so in our random function, what we're going to be doing is we basically want to iterate over everything inside of our list, inside of our linked list. So to do that, we'll be going inside of a while loop, but before we do that, we want to initialize a few variables. So we want to have a current variable. So the current variable over here is going to be the head node, so self.head. So that's going to be the current variable. And after that, what else do we have? So we're going to have a result variable. So this is going to be whatever value we end up picking. So in the beginning, let's just initialize it to 0. And one other value that we're going to have is going to be this x value over here. So I'll just define it as x, and that is going to be equal to 1 in the beginning. So now what we're going to do is, since we want to iterate over the linked list, we'll just do while current, and each time we'll change the current to current.next. Okay, so each time current is going to be equal to current.next, and this is going to keep going on until we reach a value of none, meaning that we've reached the end of our linked list. Okay, perfect. So that is for iterating over our linked list. But now we want to end up picking a value. So before we do that, let's just import random over here. Okay, so now we have random, and we want to see whether we choose the current value or not. So to do that, first what we want to do is we want to get a random value. And so to do that, we already imported random, so we can just do random dot random. Okay, so that over there is going to give us a random value in the range of 0 through 1. And over here, we're going to check if this value is less than 1 by x. Okay, so we're going to check if this value is less than 1 by x. So remember, in the beginning, x is going to be 1. So in that case, we are going to choose whatever the first value is. Okay, so if it is less than 1 by x, then in that case, our result is now going to be equal to whatever we're whatever node we are currently on. So to do that, we're going to do current.val, and that is going to be our result. Okay, so result is equal to current.val. Now when we go to the next element, this is going to end up being 1 by 2. So to do that, what we want to do is we want to increment our x value. So over here, we want to increment it by 1 each time. So x plus equals 1. Okay, so now So now for choosing the next value, our probability is 1 by 2. Then it's going to be 1 by 3, then 1 by 4, 1 by 5, so on and so forth until we reach the very ending. Okay, so that should be it. And at the very ending, all we need to do is we want to return our result. So let's submit this, and now let's see what the time and space complexity will be. So one thing that we did try to do in the beginning is we want it to be in constant space. So when you're initializing it, nothing's going to happen. It's going to be in constant space, right? We're not using an extra list or anything. But when we are in our getRandom function, again, the space complexity is going to be constant. We are not going to be using any extra space. But what is going to be happening over here is that But for the time complexity over here, we're going to have a time complexity of big O of n. And the reason for that is because we're going to be iterating through each and every single node inside of the linked list, okay? So yeah, as you can see, our submission was accepted. And again, I will be leaving down some links to help you understand reservoir sampling. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and do let me know if you have any questions.